What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Unplayable. I'm here with Jay, and we're going to, as always, talk about a ton more spoilers for Shadows of the Galaxy.
Let's go. I'm so excited. There's so much that they revealed already, and it's not even half the set yet.
That's crazy, because the cards that we've seen so far are wild. A lot of them are in this, they're going to be in this video. So I'm very excited to talk about a lot of these. So let's just, let's get to it. First card right here, we've got a leader. We got Rey. Rey is a blue hero leader, and she has the action pay 1 and exhaust her, give an experience token to a unit with 2 or less power, and then flips on 6, and she is a 2/6 force fringe, and she has restore 3, which is a lot of restore, and on attack you may give an experience token to a unit with 2 or less power. How you like this?
Before we even talk about the card,
well,
I guess it's still in reference to the card, but number one, the artwork looks great.
Yes,
I love the artwork here. Number 2, this is Rey. This is not Rey Skywalker. So this is episode 7.
What's Rey Skywalker?
Oh, let's not get started.
I've wiped that from my memory.
I think it would be so sick if they did do a Rey Skywalker leader and she's got her yellow lightsaber, because the yellow lightsaber looks so sick.
It does look sick.
And like use her from the Lego holiday special that they did when they like go to the past and like go see different masters. Did you watch that?
I still need to watch that.
No, you haven't watched it. All right, I can't spoil it for you because it's fantastic. Okay. But it's post episode 9. Rey.
You said it's a holiday special?
It's called the holiday special. But
is it like, do I need to wait for the holidays to watch it, or can I watch it like tomorrow?
You can watch it now. I mean, it's Life Day. It's not Christmas.
Okay. I'll pretend that tomorrow's Life Day and I'll watch it tomorrow for real.
Perfect. Yeah, so I hope they do that eventually. Anyway, I think she's pretty good. I mean, Restore 3 is nothing to snuff at.
Yeah, that's huge.
Like, if you get to 6, like, if you can make it to 6, flip Rey, heal 3, and start stabilizing on the back of her healing, plus maybe some other units that are healing, or like repairs and vigilances, I feel like that could be a mean deck. She makes cards like R2 and 3PO seem like that much better because you can buff them up. Make that combo really strong. You got A-Wings. I mean, if you try to do like an aggro game plan, you could do A-Wings. Anything that's like low but has raid, so it hits harder. Or units that are like 2, but they also have Restore 2. Now they're hitting for 3 and restoring 2. Stuff like that. Now, the obvious comparison is to Tarkin. Tarkin doesn't get played. This comes out a turn later. It's the same ability where you're given an experience of something for 1. It's like, if Tarkin didn't work, why would this work? But it's completely different.
Yeah, different. Well, yeah, I guess hero feels different than villain. Like, I feel like that alone, if they were like literally the same thing, but one was villain and one was hero, like one of them might be played where the other one isn't, right? So I think that's one factor. But Restore 3 is so big when she attacks and can not only buff either herself, which Tarkin can't do, or one of your other units, and get the Restore 3 and start to stabilize you. I think like that's huge.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
I think she'll be played. I think she'll be very strong.
I agree. I think like just R2, and turn 1 you get a 2/5 R2, and then the next turn you get a 3/6 if you do her ability on him twice. Like that's strong. That's gonna be hard for your opponent to deal with, and that's gonna let you sort of take over the board pretty effectively. So I think just that alone is really powerful. The more hero, well, it's not even hero as well. Like my brain is still stuck on Luke, where it's like, okay, it has to be a hero to get this. It just has to have 2 or less
that turn, all this
power.
kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's much more flexible than Luke. And experience tokens, I think a lot of times are like maybe more effective than shields, because it helps you take out your opponent's units a little bit more effectively, helps you deal more damage to their base. Yeah, I really like her. I'm pretty high on this card.
In one of the previous videos, we talked about the Space Sentinel. That's 3 costs. That's like 2/4 or 1/4, but it gets +2.
Yeah, when it's defending.
It's 1/4. Yeah, that's what it is. 1/4 +2 when it's defending. Like, you give this and give that an experience.
So good with this. Yeah,
pretty good stuff.
So good. This is gonna be a very fun leader to explore, and I feel like we can already sort of think of cards that are good with her in every color, which is extra exciting because it means that she, is probably pretty versatile as well.
Yeah, agreed.
And she's a common, so this is gonna be a fun leader to draft that
it'll be a great leader in draft.
Yeah,
great leader.
So, very excited about this one. All right, let's move on to the next card. We've got Adelphi Patrol Wing. This card is a 5-cost green hero space unit. It's a 4/6 New Republic vehicle fighter, and when played, you may attack with a unit. If you have the initiative, it gets +2/+0 for this attack.
So, I mean, the stats for this as a 5-cost spaceship is not bad.
Like, I think it's quite good.
Getting this, it's kind of like a fleet lieutenant, but bigger and space unit, which is kind of sweet. I don't think it's New Republic, so it's not got the rebel trait to do rebel synergies. But it also doesn't require it to be a rebel, so you can give the +2 to anything, which is flexible. So maybe this is where we're starting to see, okay, there are strategies of not going just all rebel for heroes, which would be cool. You can play this with Wedge.
Yeah.
Little D-House shout out there for you. You definitely, so it lends itself to decks that are action compressed. So you want to just do play cards like this and Fleet Lieutenant to go as fast as you can and keep the initiative so that when you play these, you still have it. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that strategy. We already have Rebel Assault that lets you attack with 2 things at once. Like you said, Fleet Lieutenant helps you take fewer actions to take your turn. And
we just got the other green 1-cost that's attack with 2 units.
Yep. Yeah, Outflank, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there's a lot of options here to just go super fast. And I think a giant fleet, Fleet Lieutenant is really good. I think a giant Fleet Lieutenant is still good, especially in space. And you can hit anything. I actually really like this card. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's got 4 power, so you ECL this in, you can kill a Millennium Falcon, and you stay alive because you're really healthy at 6.
And attack with something else. You can get pull this off of U-Wing as well. So it's if you need that extra pump from U-Wing, you have more sort of hits in your deck where you're playing Fleet Lieutenant and this. Now there's 6 cards in your deck that you could find that could allow you to attack for +2 if you have initiative. So yeah, big fan. Next card is Poe Dameron, and Poe is a 5-cost red hero ground unit. He is a 6/6 with the resistance trait, and on attack, discard up to 3 cards from your hand. For each card discarded this way, choose a different option. Deal 2 damage to a unit or base. Defeat and upgrade. An opponent discards a card from their hand.
It's also a legendary.
Yep.
All right, so Black 1 exists as a legendary, and it's discard your hand, draw 3. If you have nothing in your hand, you just draw 3. Same thing on an undefeated. Does this Poe make Black 1 this is the best combo?
I think a lot of people think that it will be good because the price of Black 1 is doubled over the last week.
I don't think Poe alone makes Black 1 viable. But Poe, without thinking about Black 1, is insanely strong because he's a 5-cost 6/6.
Yeah.
That's just a big unit for 5. I don't think that we have anything else that's a 5-cost near this stat line.
Yeah, probably not.
So this dude comes in, he sticks, and he's just swinging for 6, which is crazy, and he's not easy to kill. Is his on attack good? And if you're ever using this on attack, do you need to be playing something like Black 1 or some kind of hand?
I don't think you need to. I think that you essentially can think of it as on attack, take an extra action before the attack happens and pay 0 resources, and the card in your hand becomes one of these events. I think that's the best way to think about it, is each of these is an event that you could play from your hand, and any card can be that event, and you don't have to pay for it in resources or actions. I think that's just flexible. Inherently powerful. Yeah, very flexible. You need to deal with a problematic upgrade, good. You want to strip cards from your opponent's hand, done. You want to deal an extra 2 damage, done.
So he's swinging at base for really 8 as a 5/5.
That's huge. That's so much.
A lot.
Yeah. So I love Poe. I think he's really strong. I mean, ECLing this in, that's obviously going to be pretty strong. You can kill anything with 8 health. You can, defeat your opponent's best upgrade or an entrenched on one of your things. Like, yeah, I like it. Aside from Black 1, I'm excited to play this in Cassian because he allows you to draw so many cards that like this on attack becomes less of a downside. And yeah, like the deck that I've been playing with Cassian has been more focused around discard, so this is just another way to like discard cards from your opponent's hand while you're drawing cards yourself.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm a huge fan of this guy.
Yep. Good card.
Next up, we've got Migs Mayfield. He is a 2-cost red ground unit, a 2/2 underworld traded, and when a player discards a card from their hand, you may deal 2 damage to a unit or base. Use this ability only once each round.
It's interesting. I think, well, number one, he's underworld, so you can McClunky him.
Sure.
When any player discards a card from the hand, so if you're playing Kylo Ren and you do this, you can deal 2 damage to something.
Yeah.
So that makes Kylo Ren pretty interesting. Is he good? I mean,
okay, Kylo Ren yellow. You play him. You discard a card from your hand. You McClunky. You play him again. Then you discard another card from your hand.
Boom.
And that, yeah, that's not good. But
you solved it. I think it's interesting though, but 2-cost 2/2s have not been reliable yet.
Yeah, I don't like the stat line at all.
It's a terrible stat line. But is his ability strong enough to want to play him consistently? I don't know. It's only once per turn too, so it's not even like you can do Kylo Ren plus Force Throw to like just deal a bunch of unit or base damage. I don't think he needed to be restricted to once each round because he's so easy to take care of.
Yeah. Think of how sick this would be with Poe though, if it wasn't restricted.
That'd be nasty. So, or Black 1.
Yeah, that'd be gross.
It's whenever they discard a card from their hand.
I feel like it'd be a lot to set up because he's just a 2-cost 2/2. I feel like he's so easy to take out that you're not going to be able to trigger this very many times before he's just off the board. Yeah. I think there's going to be some games where he feels insane, and then most of your games he's just going to die.
If this was Lorcana, it would not be capped, and you would be able to play that stupid Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah,
discard 7 cards.
14 damage to your opponent's face. But we were playing at a very different game.
So
yeah, I don't know exactly what to think about this guy.
He's a rare too.
I'm not super high on this guy personally, but
I think he's cool. Maybe eventually there's some kind of discard deck that's just like controlling.
I wish that it was not once per turn because that feels like it
limits it pretty hard.
Yeah, it really limits like the build around potential for this card. Let's talk about the next one. We've got Bazine Natal. She is a 2-cost yellow villain ground unit, and she is a 1/3 with the Underworld trait. And when played, look at an opponent's hand. You may discard one of those cards. If you do, that player draws a card, and you can smuggle her for 4.
I think she's pretty good, personally.
Yeah,
it's like a Spark for villain, but on a stick. It's not card disadvantage, but I don't think you play Spark because it's card disadvantage. It's just kind of like helps.
Yeah, you just want to snipe the problematic cards, right?
Yes. So I think this is probably just as good as that because you're also getting a unit, and you can smuggle it for 4 if you need to.
Yeah. So both of us have played a decent amount of Yellow Boba, and I feel like this is like the perfect sideboard card for that deck, where that deck can struggle a lot against like the green-blue control decks that are trying to heal a bunch with their leader and then control the board and not let you do stuff. And one of the better ways to sort of counter the strategy is hand disruption and sort of going a bit wider, and this lets you do both. So I imagine, like, you know, when you have 4 resources, you can play this alongside another 2-drop, put 2 threats on the board while you're removing the card that your opponent wants to use to answer your units. And I think that like it just fits that strategy really well, and it's Underworld, so you know you can use it with McClunky, play it again, like. Yeah, I think there's a lot of flexibility there, and the smuggle as well is really nice. Like, you get to the later stages of the game, and you can smuggle this and remove like the Avenger that your opponent was about to play. So I think that there's a lot of play to this card. I actually think it's better than I thought it was at first because I really don't like the 1/3 stat line, but I think the when played ability and just like the situation that makes it good is going to make it like really really good.
I think this could be an event, and it would still be good. That's how I know that it's a good unit. Like I would pay 2.
I can see that.
Like there are villain decks running Spark for 4.
Right.
For this ability.
Yeah, basically.
I think it's great.
It's higher variance than that because they could just draw into a card that can answer you. But
if they draw the card that you're wanting, like I think even then it's still good. You're getting a Vigilance out of their deck, or
it's true. Yeah.
A Fire Spray out, whatever the case might be. It's like it's still getting one of those cards out of their deck, even if they draw it again. It's like now they can't mill you for 6 and heal 5 or something.
Yeah.
3 times. You only get to do it twice. It's way harder for them to mill you. I don't know. I think it's a great card.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. All right. Let's talk about the next one, which is Coruscant Dissident. It is a 3-cost yellow hero ground unit. It's a 3/4 Underworld Twi'lek. And on attack, you may ready a resource.
I haven't seen anybody talk about this card.
Yeah, this one's cool.
I think it's a good card. This is a good. This would have been in my yellow Sabine deck over some of.
Sure.
Like, I definitely play this over Rogue Operative, especially now that you have like the Cartel turncoats. It's like on turn 4, you play at 4 costs, like K2, swing with this, ready a resource, play the Cartel Spacer or whatever it's called, turncoat. Yeah. Like, I think this card is great. I don't know.
Readying resources is always good.
Yeah.
Right? Like when do you not want extra resources? I guess like you have to have a deck with probably pretty cheap cards on average so that you can make sure that you make use of the extra resource. But I mean, like there are already decks that do that. I feel like this fits in really well with that strategy. Like you can attack with it, and then your McClunky is essentially free, and it's an Underworld card. I mean, we bring up McClunky a lot because it's just a really good versatile card, and it just happens to cost 1. And this happens to be an Underworld unit, so I don't know. This card is really cool.
Yeah, and then you play like Timely Intervention for free.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, basically.
And then I don't know. I think and then you're ready the resource. Yeah, so if you have 4, you can Timely Intervention this, ready a resource, play McClunky, like.
Yeah.
Or a turncoat. I don't know. I think this card's good.
Yeah, this is a really cool card. I don't know if there's too much else to say about it, but I think that this is going to find a home somewhere. All right, next one is Rokari Gunship. It's a 2-cost.
Rokai, right?
Rokai. Okay.
You said Rokari.
I did say
There's no
Rokari.
R.
There's no extra R. So we got Rokari. Wow, I keep saying
you did
Rokari.
It again.
This is Rokai Gunship. I wonder what Rokai is or are. Is that like the type of gunship? Yeah.
I have no clue.
Conversation Lab. Yeah, so this is a 2-cost red space unit. It's a 2/1 Underworld vehicle fighter with, when defeated, deal 1 damage to a unit or base.
I mean, it's 1 damage to base if you're playing an aggro deck, so it's not like terrible. But it's also a 2-cost 2/1, which seems bad.
Yeah.
But if it's like, I don't know, maybe it comes in against control decks. I don't know.
Is there, like, do you play this in an aggro or in a control deck where you want to like run it into something with 2 health and then hit something else with 1? Or
I don't know. This just seems like a bad card.
Yeah,
right?
it doesn't excite me.
Sure. Maybe you play this in Red Palpatine. It's like,
okay,
you swing at base, then you use the 1, kill this, ping something, and ping something. So now you're doing 2, draw a card.
That's interesting. Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. This one's not super exciting. But the next one is pretty exciting, which is Dryden Voss. He is a 7-cost yellow villain ground unit, a 5/7 Underworld, shielded, and when played, choose a captured unit guarded by a unit you control. You may play it for free under your control.
It's a legendary.
So that's pretty powerful. Yeah, this is a legendary.
And it's Underworld, so you can McClunky him.
And you can do it again. You can capture multiple cards.
Easy. All right, so the weird thing is he doesn't capture something himself.
Yeah, so you got to capture something first and then play this.
You're probably never playing this card if you're not playing a deck that's playing capture.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So this is a very niche legendary, I feel like.
Yes.
It's like you're playing capture cards if you're playing this card.
Yep.
Is he good as a 5/7 shielded for 7? Probably not, right?
I don't think you ever play this if you are not intending to use the when played
ability.
I think sometimes it's okay to play it without the when played. If you haven't captured anything, you just need board presence, but I think 5/7 shielded. It's not that bad for 7. Like, it's hard to deal with.
Yeah.
It takes something out and then threatens to take out more things.
If you're not playing, if you don't have anything captured.
But if you do have something captured, then this is like
the ceiling really on this is like super high, right? If you can capture an Avenger and then you play this and now you have an Avenger, that seems really good.
Yeah. So
and it's not like it's just for the turn. It's like it's yours now.
Right.
Forever.
Yeah. It's just yours. Like yeah, you just get it. All right. So like you have Relentless Pursuit, which is the one that gives the bounty hunter the shield. Like playing that on the turn before you play this, make your unit harder to take out, capture one of their units, and then flip this, steal their unit. I think that's pretty cool. There's the
interesting thing about that is that it also has to be less cost right, than what you have out, so the ceiling gets lowered a little bit. Whereas if you're playing the green one, you can capture
the green one is anything in the same arena, I think.
Yeah,
and then there's also Legal Authority is the other one.
But it's probably still very good. Like a 7 cost that lets you play a 5 cost from your opponent. Like that's still really good.
That's still good. Okay, so here's what I came up with, and I actually built this deck already in
perfect
SWODB. Mandalorian with Mandalorian's rifle, and then you play Ewing reinforcements to bring in Dryden Boss.
Let's
and
go.
You get to capture from Mando.
I dig it.
How sick is that?
That's awesome. I'm totally playing that.
So I'm definitely going to try that out.
That's hilarious.
So
that seems good.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. I don't know.
I mean, you can do that in a lot of decks, right? Like Boba yellow, or not even yellow. Boba, just anything.
Yeah.
The new Boba, I mean, the heroic one.
Like Casino Han.
Yeah, but in the new Boba Fett, you could put Fett's Fire Spray and Dryden Voss so that you have a chance of hitting either one of those out of aspect.
Very true. That's actually sick.
There you go. Broke the meta.
Awesome. Yep, we love it. All right, next card. We've got Triple Dark Raid. This is a 3-cost yellow villain event. Search the top 7 cards of your deck for a vehicle and play it. It costs 5 less and enters play ready. Return it to its owner's hand at the end of the phase.
Okay.
This one's cool.
Is Sneak Attack 3 costs, play something for 5 less? Comes in ready.
Sneak Attack is 2 costs, play something for 3 less.
2 costs, play something for 3 less. Okay.
Yeah.
Is this a better Sneak Attack?
Maybe. It's less.
Because it doesn't kill it, but it also doesn't proc the defeat, I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't proc a when defeated. It also can miss. Like you could just not have a vehicle in the top 7 cards of your deck.
True.
And you're not guaranteed to play the card that you want, whereas Sneak Attack, you have it in your hand, so you are. But I think this could be sick. And
I mean, it's not card disadvantage like Sneak Attack is.
Right.
It's
you get
actually
the card back in your hand.
You get to put it back in your hand, but it's also a card from your deck, not from your hand.
Right, not from your hand.
So it's not like a double whammy.
Right.
I think it's interesting. It's pretty sick.
It's definitely interesting. I mean, I think like aside from just grabbing the vehicle that you need in the moment to I don't know, counter whatever your opponent's doing, there are some cool things you can do with this. Like if you have this in a double yellow deck, you could play this and then you could play a new adventure to make sure the card actually sticks around. It doesn't go back into your hand. And if there's like a when played, you get to trigger that again, which is pretty cool. You could also do this, and then if it's an underworld unit, you can play McClunky, get it back in your hand. But like you were going to get it back in your hand anyway, but now you get the 3 damage off of it, which is kind of neat. It also allows you to search for ground units that are vehicles. So the more of those that we get, the more interesting that this card becomes, which is pretty fun.
I think it's a cool card.
Yeah, this is a cool card. I think like this is gonna. I think people are going to try and are going to want to build around this card, and I think we're gonna see some pretty fun deck ideas pop up around this.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's move on. We've got another leader. It is Kira, and Kira has the ability. So she's a blue villain leader with the ability action, pay 1 and exhaust her, deal 2 damage to a friendly unit, then give a shield token to it. And then if you control 5 or more resources, you can deploy her, and she deploys as a 0/8 with grit. And when deployed, heal all damage from each unit, then deal damage to each unit equal to half its remaining HP rounded down. This card's wild.
This is insane. We have not seen a leader like this yet, I don't think.
Very excited about this leader.
It's just very like out there, you know what I mean? It's completely different than anything we've experienced from leaders so far.
Yeah.
I think the action is super good. Like, deal 2 damage to a grit unit and give it a shield so it doesn't just immediately die to
so
anything. Like, right now, grit units, it's like, I play Scout Bike Pursuer, I play Death Trooper, deal 2 there, deal 2 to your guy. It's like, you just kill my thing with 2 damage spell or attack into it with your little guy. And it's like, I lose the value there. This gives it a shield. So it's not susceptible. I mean, it'll still die to like minus stuff.
Sure.
But it's a lot more niche. It makes them a little more resilient, so to say.
Absolutely.
And then she comes out as a 4/4. That's interesting. And then if you already have shields on your guys, you've been giving them shields, then it blocks the damage. So they're pretty much just like back to full HP.
They just get healed, which is kind of sweet. I think, there's some interesting things. So she flips on 5. The first thing that I thought of was Bombing Run. And it's a card that like hasn't really been played that much because it feels like when you get to play it, your opponent's units, sometimes they don't have 3 health left. They have like 4 or 5 health left, and then it just like feels kind of useless.
Yeah.
But if you flip Kira, all of your opponent's units are almost all going to be at like 3 or less because they would need to be at like 7 or 8 health to get 4, and by turn 5, like that, there aren't a lot of units that applies to. So I think like Kira plus Bombing Run or something like that as basically a one-sided board wipe is pretty attractive. And like, yes, she's a 4/4 herself, but her when deployed also affects your opponent's leader if they're out. So, you know, it's like you compare this to Boba or something like that, who's a 4/7. Like they flip their Boba, you flip your Kira, their Boba goes down to a 4/3 or a 4/4, and then
4/4.
And then, you know, you flip yours and you're a 4/4 as well. But yeah, I think she's super interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's some cool play with like more grit stuff. The more grit stuff they introduce and synergies, the more powerful it gets. So
definitely,
I think she's cool. It's interesting they have a villain and a heroic Kira in the same set.
Yeah. Have we seen that yet? Is that a thing that like in the same set? I don't think so. I don't think that existed in the first set. So that is very interesting.
We do have heroic and villain Boba. That's the only other thing though.
Yeah.
But not the same set.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, let's move on and talk about the next card. We've got Lom Pike, who is a 4-cost blue villain ground unit. He is a 4/6 underworld unit with on attack. You may give a shield token to an enemy unit. If you do, give a shield token to a friendly unit, and you can smuggle it for 5.
So the smuggle cost is only 1 more, which is nice. I mean, it's got decent stats for a 4-cost. 4/6. That's not bad. Plus, I think the on attack is interesting. I think it's good for blue villain because you're playing just like defeat effects, so you don't care if they have a shield. It's like you're protecting your Childson with a shield or something. And it's like you're protecting their whatever with a shield that you're just gonna play, you know, take down on and not care if it has a shield.
You can give the shield to your leader too, which is pretty sweet, and give the shield to whatever unit you care less about on your opponent's side. Yeah, like you're like you said, you're playing blue, you're playing defeat effects, you're playing minus whatever effects, and so shields matter a lot less to blue than to other colors.
Yeah, I think this card's pretty cool.
Yeah, or like blue yellow, and you just bounce whatever you put the shield on. Like I like this card a lot. I think this is really cool. Yeah, like imagine like blue Boba, you play this on turn 4. The next turn you attack with this, you shield whatever their thing is, and then you play Cantina Bouncer, bounce their thing. Like I don't know, it's just really cool. I think this is gonna find a place.
I agree.
Cool card. All right, moving on to the next card, which is Street Gang Recruiter. It's a neutral 5-cost ground unit, 4/4 underworld, and when played, you may return an underworld card from your discard pile to your hand.
I want to say this card looks like trash, but also recursion in any game is like really good. I don't know. It's like a
5-cost 4/4 draw a specific card.
Yeah.
Maybe not bad.
Bounty Hunter Crew is a 6-cost 4/4. It has ambush, but you return an event, I think.
Yeah.
And that's played a little bit. And I think it just gets better.
If you want more bounty hunter crews, you can play this and bring back your bounty hunter crew.
There you go. Broke the meta. I think it might end up being decent. I don't know. I don't have the deck that it would be good in. I mean, it's non traded, or not traded, aspected. So it can be in literally any deck.
Yeah.
Which is what makes it so interesting, because it has recursion that can go anywhere and not have a aspect penalty.
Yeah.
I just don't know how to evaluate it.
Yeah, I agree with you though. I feel like somebody's gonna find a way to make this good because recursion just is good.
Yeah.
Like maybe this just goes in against like a, you know, if you're playing Underworld units anyway, maybe this is like a sideboard card against a control deck where you just need to like play a unit and then threaten more units. Mm-hmm. So, good card. Next one, we've got Midnight Repairs. It's a 2-cost event. It's double blue, and it says heal up to 8 total damage from any number of units.
Well, there you go. You got it right there. You flip Kira, and then you just heal everything you dealt to your own guys.
There you go.
And you make your opponent still have all the damage on theirs.
I like it.
I think it's cool. Like 2 costs heal. It's probably good in the right circumstances and the right decks.
Yeah. I feel like it's too situational for me to be like really excited about it.
Okay, how often do you play where your opponent starts pinging your guys with their little units or whatever to get you in range of something, like make an opening or a takedown or something like that, and then you play this and they're like, oh, well, there goes my whole entire plan. Now my whole turn is screwed because you did that. Or like, I mean, even like a double blue deck that has Childson, you play on turn 4 resource turn, they swing in with one thing because they're planning on just taking it out, and then you heal it.
You heal it back up,
so they can't kill it with their second
But do you need
attack.
to heal 8 in that situation?
I mean, repair can do a similar thing.
Yeah.
This just costs 1 more and gives you more flexibility, I guess, of being
but you can only heal your units. You can't heal your base.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there might be decks that eventually play this. I don't know, though.
I could see it. I'm just like...
Double blue turret?
Maybe. But double blue turret's dead because the next card we got to talk about is Rival's Fall. Which is a 6-cost blue event that says defeat a unit. And guess what, Jay? When leaders flip, they are units.
They certainly are, aren't they? And it's not non-leader unit.
It is not non-leader unit.
Defeat a unit. This card sucks. I mean... I don't see this being
card
viable.
that we've seen so far. Yeah,
there's no way this is viable.
Yeah,
coming from someone who thinks every card is great now, this card sucks. Not because it's bad, but because it's so good. We got there.
Crazy.
We got there.
We did it.
No, I think this card is pretty wicked. I think that there's so much that can be said about this card, and I'm sure many other people will touch on. And if you want to hear thoughts in Discord, join our Discord, and you can see everything we've said so far. I think this card alone will push out any concept of running a Voltron deck for your leader. Or any unit, I guess, for that matter. It's like if you have a Kanan, you put like 2 lifesavers on it. It's like, I play this, now you're losing a lot of value. But specifically, like Turret Voltron, I don't think will be viable anymore. Yeah, I don't know. And then any leader that flips at 7 or more, you just think about this card. And you're like, Vader, like even if Vader ramps once and he's coming out on 6, it's like you still have this. Yeah. Chewbacca, Giant Sentinel. I don't care. I'll just kill it.
Yep.
We'll see, though. Maybe it's healthy. Maybe Voltron decks would get too strong. Something like Turret might get too strong with too many more support cards.
Yeah. I think it's walking that line between like a card that needs to exist to contain certain decks in the meta and warping the meta around the fact that this exists. So yeah, I think we'll have to sort of wait and see to to really determine how this shakes out and if it feels oppressive to certain decks in the meta, or if people just play them anyway, and if they run up against a blue control deck, they just kind of change their strategy. Because this is very powerful.
Yeah,
it costs one more than Vanquish, which people already play, and can defeat everything that Vanquish can defeat and more. So
yeah,
I think like the adding on the ability to kill your opponent's most powerful unit being their leader, a lot of times that is their most powerful unit, like well worth one extra resource.
Yep. You don't play this against aggro decks. You're probably not playing this against anything that flips at 4, like 5+. Because if they Voltron something on 5, you go to the next turn and you play this, and they lose all of that. It does cost 6, and it's like only defeating one thing. So there is like, it's not great in aggro, and
for sure
it's a little slow. But like we both said, its existence is going to prevent certain archetypes from existing, I think.
Yeah, agreed. A couple more things to say about this card. Number one, the art is sick. I love this art. The second is that it's a common, which means that draft is going to be pretty wild. You're going to see a lot of this.
Yeah, you will.
All right, let's move on to the next card, Stolen Landspeeder. This card is really interesting. It is a 1-cost red ground unit. It is a 3/2 underworld vehicle speeder, and when played, if you play this unit from your hand, an opponent takes control of it. And then it has bounty. If you own this unit, play it from your discard pile for free and give an experience token to it. So you play this, your opponent gets it right away with the when played, and then when you kill it with the bounty, you get it back and it gets an experience.
It's the most bizarre card I've ever seen in my life.
It's a 1-cost 4/3.
Yeah, that you have to sink resources into, so it's not really a 1-cost anymore.
Right. It's a
it's
weird
2-cost 4/3 at minimum. Like if they drop a 1-cost card that deals damage to a unit, which I mean I guess technically we have right now with Force Throw, but something that you can do turn 1, play this, play the card, immediately kill it, then it becomes a 2-cost 4/3. That's not terrible. I mean, like 3/3s are played right now because they're so strong as a 2-cost. So maybe there's a world where if you get both of those cards in your opening hand, you're like, great, I start the game with a 4/3.
But then you're spending 2 cards to do that, and your opponent just played a 3/2, and they just get to kill it.
Yeah, I don't know if this card's good.
Yeah, this card is either terrible or broken.
Yeah,
I think it's like one of those cards where.
And I'm in the camp it's probably terrible. Wait, no, I think this card's awesome.
Yeah, every card's good, Jay.
You can't McClunky it because then you play it again and it just goes right back to your opponent.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, that's true. So how do you play this not from your hand? Is sort of like where my mind goes first. And is that even worth doing? Yeah, if you smuggle it, it doesn't count.
You're getting a 3-cost
3/2. Yeah, that's probably not very good. Is decent as like a Ewing target if you've already spent 6 of your 7. It's like just a 1-cost 3/2, but Greedo's like probably just as good as a 3/1.
Yeah.
Is there I don't know. If there was a leader that was like pay 1, deal 2 damage to a unit, then it's probably good because you just play this and then like exhaust your leader, pay 1, deal 2, and then get it back. But that seems like a broken leader ability that probably will never exist. Yeah, this is a weird card.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about it.
Yeah. Can you play this? Okay, here it is. You play this. You're in yellow villain. You play this with Boba. You play this. And you have Tarkin Town. So it's Boba Tarkin Town. You play this. Your opponent gets it. You play ISB Agent. You show an event. You deal 1 damage to this. You Tarkin Town. You get this back. You ready a resource. And now you have 1 resource.
Play Greedo.
Yeah, now you play a Greedo. You have a 1/2, a 4/3, and a 3/1 on turn 1.
There it is.
Broke the game.
There it is, guys.
These videos are free.
Okay, next one.
All right. Last card we have to talk about today is Bravado. It is a 5-cost red event, and it says if you've defeated an enemy unit this phase, this costs 2 less to play, and it's just simply ready a unit.
So it's like make an opening, or not make an opening. What is it? Keep fighting, but it's not capped to a 3 or less power guy.
Yeah.
It's probably good.
I think it's probably pretty good.
I feel like it goes into like a late game deck that plays like big guys, and then it's like you don't care if you're paying 5 to ready an Avenger, and then if you get to ready for 3, then it's like that much better.
It's like I'm thinking of like some mid-range deck where you can make a really big unit or like upgrade your leader and then ready them and then attack like twice, like 2 or 3 times with this plus Mahdi or something like that.
This is probably good in like Boba, a red Boba deck. Like play, I don't know, like anything. Like
an ambush unit or something like that.
Yeah.
Like kill one of your opponent's things.
Flip, ready to play
Pay
this,
3 for
ready
this.
something.
That's
you can ready your leader. So
Yeah.
Boba could attack again and ready 2 more resources.
I mean, on the 5 resource like flip turn, it's like usually you're trying to play a 5 and a 3 together. Like this could be the 3. So it's like you play Bosk, you kill whatever their thing is, you flip Boba, you attack with Boba, you ready your resources, you ready Boba, you attack again. Like
get ready, 2 more
Bosk,
resources.
again. Like and you deal 2 damage to something with the Bosk. Like this is definitely an interesting card. I think like readying units with no cap is just like inherently kind of broken, and somebody's gonna find a way to make this ridiculous.
Yeah, that seems good.
Like, I mean, even something like red Palp with Mahdi, and like, you know, you're readying your Palp a bunch of times and making.
I mean, Darth Vader leader. Like you're paying something for 2, kill it.
You're fairly likely to kill
play
something anyway with him.
Ready.
Yeah. Oh well, you flip Vader, you play Vader's lightsaber, you kill something with that, you attack, you ready, you attack again, you play Mahdi, you attack again. Like,
this card
that's a thing
good.
you can do, which is nuts. I mean, I think your Vader dies to Rival's Fall, but before it does, you just play Viper Probe Droid first to find out if like you've cleared the way in their hand.
Yeah, I mean every yellow hero deck's gonna be playing Spark of Rebellion now, right? Like
100%.
to snipe stuff like Rival's Fall.
I think this card's nuts. I'm excited to mess around with this.
Bazine, rip Rival's Fall.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Bravado is actually very good. If you get to play for 3, it's very good.
Yeah. And sometimes even for 5, like you just ready a unit, no stipulation.
Yeah. Readying your leader seems like it's very strong.
Yeah. So, yeah, big fan of this card. And that's it. That's all we got for today. So
that's all of them.
That's it. Let us know in the comments which of these cards was your favorite.
They've all been amazing.
All amazing cards. Every single last one.
But which one is the most amazing for you?
Wait, which one was your favorite, Jay, out of the cards we looked at?
Let's go with Rey.
Okay.
Scroll back through though.
Yeah. We'll just
definitely wasn't Stolen Land
Kira?
Speeder, I could tell you that. Oh, Dryden was very cool.
Yep. Oh, all those.
Yeah, I'll go with Rey for now.
Okay.
But non-leader, maybe Dryden.
I think Dryden's the most interesting for sure. I think actually my favorite is Bravado. I think that's the card I'm most excited to try and mess around with. But let us know which one is your favorite or the most interesting one, or talk about some ideas that you had that we didn't talk about. Let us know in the comments. Otherwise, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.
Just kidding. We're back. There's
2 more
literally
cards.
The second we stopped recording, 2 more cards got spoiled. So we're going to do them right now, real quick.
Live action.
The Marauder. Yeah, we haven't looked at these yet. The Marauder. It's a 5-cost green hero space unit. It is a 4/5 fringe vehicle transport with ambush, and when played, choose a card in your discard pile, put it into play as a resource if it shares a name with a unit you control.
Okay. All right.
That's cool.
It's interesting. It's ramp on a stick that is not like it's an ambush card. Plus, it's a 4/5, so it's like not terrible stats.
Mm-hmm.
If you get to pull it off and you're playing like a six flip leader, this seems really good.
Yeah, that's really cool.
But how often are you gonna trigger its ability?
The odds of triggering it is probably pretty low.
So it's a win played, so you can trigger it before your ambush. So if you've already discarded a Marauder for the game with like Han, then you can guarantee with
That's cool.
Marauder that you get to do it.
I like that. You could do like Sabine as well if you have Sabine already out as a leader, and the unit version died earlier in the game. You can, resource that. It has a keyword, which means that it's pretty sweet with Boba.
Yeah.
The Boba leader. So you can ambush as a 5/5 in space for 5. And
but stuff has to be in the discard pile, so it feels weird. That's why I think like with Han, this might be good.
Yeah, because you're discarding cards.
You can ramp the Han without needing to use Han's ability.
Sure.
That turn.
Yeah, that is cool. You don't then also get to play your 7 cost card that turn though.
Yeah. But
maybe it doesn't matter. This is gonna be cool off of Ewing because it's an ambush space unit, and that's oftentimes going to be something that is useful. It's like it kind of feels like Bright Hope a little bit in that way, where it's like you need to deal with something in space. You have another way to do that. I also love the art on this card.
Yeah, the art looks cool.
Hyperspace Marauder is going to be so sick.
It's very nice when they do not space oriented backgrounds.
Yeah.
With spaceships like this. Looks good.
Yeah, this one's sweet. I like this card a lot. Let's talk about the next one. Choose Sides. It's a 7 cost green event. Choose a friendly non-leader unit and an enemy non-leader unit. Exchange control of those units.
Is this better than Change of Heart?
Maybe.
For the kind of decks that play Change of Heart?
If you have a unit out. Yes.
If you have like a 1 cost unit and it's like you just trade it with an Avenger.
Yeah.
It is more conditional because you have to have more units out, but
yeah,
maybe it's like
the potential's there.
You like Ewing, you can't do that because then you go into Super Laser Blast. I don't know. There might be a way to break this card. I just don't know it off the top of my head.
That is a wild card ability.
It's very interesting.
It's really cool.
It might be good because I mean, like I said, if you get to the situation where you could just take over an Avenger, but maybe you don't care about that, like, because then they just remove your Avenger and they still have your unit. There's got to be something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, this is a weird one. Is there a unit that is sort of like bad for you to have in play that you want your opponent to have, like a unit with like a bounty that's, like you give your opponent the unit with the bounty and then you get to kill it? Yeah.
The Dr. Evazan, kill it, ready all your resources.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it costs 7, which is pretty expensive, but yeah, I don't know. It's a very cool card.
What's the bounty that everyone was like wondering if you could do something like that? Kill something that has a bounty on it, or something. Everyone was trying to figure out a way to make a bounty work like that. Hold on, let me find it.
Yeah, you gotta look it up.
Oh no. It was capturing your own unit. It was IG-11. That's what I was thinking of.
Gotcha.
No, you can't force your opponent to capture a unit. Nah, I don't know.
Yep. All right. Well, I don't know. Maybe this is good. Maybe this is not good. But yeah. Again, let us know in the comments if you think of anything cool that you can do with this card. But yeah, other than that, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.